Hi, welcome to Mrs. Park's Algebra 1 class. This is for Chapter 1. We're starting a brand new chapter, solving inequalities by adding and subtraction. Okay, so this is a lot like how we do solving equations, but this time it's not an equation, it's actually an inequality. Okay, so inequalities, what is that? That's when you see the signs like greater than, less than, greater or equal to, less or equal to. Okay. So it's really, you're going to see a lot of similarities to solving equations. Okay, let's do the key concept. Right. Addition property of inequalities. If the same number is added to each side of a true inequality, the resulting inequality is also true. For all numbers a, b, and c, the following are true. If a is greater than b, then a plus c is greater than b plus c. If a is less than b, then a plus c is less than b plus c. So all you do is when you add the same c on each side, it's the inequality stays the same. Okay, so solve by adding. When you have an inequality such as x minus 12 is greater or equal to 8, it's the same concept. What we're doing here is we're just adding 12 to each side. So oops, wait, I didn't want to do that. So you are used to solving equations by adding or subtracting to each side. It's the exact same concept, except now we don't have an equal sign. So you have x minus 12 is greater or equal to 8. So if this was an equal sign, you would actually just be adding 12 to each side. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We'll just add 12 to each side. And now you have here, that's canceled out, you have x. And what would normally be an equal sign, you would just bring down the exact same dot sign, greater or equal to, and a plus 12 is 20. So now your answer, instead of x being 20, now you have x is greater or equal to 20. And that's what we have here. Okay, so let's move on to the next page. Okay. A more concise way of writing a solution set is to use set builder notation. In a set builder notation, the solution set in example 1 is x, and you write it like this, and x is greater or equal to 20. Okay. So how do you read this? The set of all numbers x such that x is greater than or equal to 20. Again, x this is read as the set of all numbers x such that x is greater than or equal to 20. Okay. Alright. So how would you graph this on a number line? So you have your x and it's going to be greater. Remember that greater. Okay, this greater sign kind of looks like it's an arrow pointing to the right. So that means on a number line, you're actually pointing to the right. Okay, so that greater sign looks like that. So it's pointing that way, so it's going to the right. It's greater or equal to, remember we've learned this before last year, so that means you circle in the 20. Same concept for subtraction property of inequalities. Exactly the same thing. If you subtract the same number on each side, it's going to be the same inequality. Just as we did subtraction for solving equations. Okay, so here now you have m plus 19 is greater than 56. And how would you normally solve for x? If it was an equation, you would subtract 19 on each side. So that's exactly what we're going to do here. That's gone. You have m is greater than, and 56 minus 19 is 37. So now you have m is greater than 37. Okay, if you want to write it in set builder notation, here you go. You write m is greater than 37, but you put it in these brackets m is greater than 37. Okay? Alright. Okay. Now, when you have variables on each side, okay, it's just the same as how we would solve an equation. So if you had an equation, 3a plus 6 is less or equal to 4a, what you want to do is get all the variables on one side. So you can either subtract 3a on each side, or you can subtract 4a on each side. Doesn't matter. So here, actually I'm going to do it different the way they did it in the textbook. So I'm going to subtract 4a on each side. Okay. Either way, you'll get the same answer. 3a minus 4a will give you a negative a. You don't have to write in 1. You have the 6 there, less or equal to, and this is cancelled out, so it became a 0. Now you would subtract 6 on each side to get the a by itself. And now you have negative a is less or equal to 0 minus 6 would be a negative 6. Now, the only difference between an equation and an inequality, right here, when you're going to divide by that negative 1 to eliminate the negative, because that would give me a positive a, and that's what we want. The only thing you need to remember here that's really important when it comes to inequalities is when you divide or multiply by a negative number, this sign will be switched to the other way. So now it's greater or equal to negative 6 divided by negative 1 is a positive 6. Solution is a is greater or equal to 6. That's what we have here. Okay. A real quick review of all the signs that we have here. The phases for inequalities. Okay. Less than, fewer than, greater than, more than, at most, no more than, but we usually use the term less than or equal to, and greater than or equal to. Okay. Alright, so let's go ahead and watch the next video for practice 5.1.